Hello everybody, welcome back to another weekly market forecast for F45trading.com. This week we are discussing February 17th to Friday, February 21st. We've only got 2 weeks left of February already. This time is just slipping by. Faster and faster it seems. So looking at the Forex calendar, don't get too crazy on Monday. It is a U.S. bank holiday, and it is actually a bank holiday in a couple of places throughout Canada as well too, where I'm from. And so there's it could be a little bit slower than normal. So I wouldn't necessarily assume that Monday is going to be this big blistering day. Certainly could be, but just keep in mind we do have a bank holiday. Usually they're typically fairly quiet when you're looking at all the U.S. cross pairs. We have Australian dollar monetary policy meeting minutes to round off the day tomorrow, which should put a little bit of jump in the Aussie, which has been consolidating lately. And then we've got Tuesday, we've got some medium impact news events for the pound sterling, German zoo economic sentiment at 5 a.m. New York time, and some manufacturing and some more Aussie news to round off the day on Tuesday. Fairly quiet day on Tuesday. One high impact news event for the euro. I've got some ideas for the euro here I'll discuss. And then we go into some high impact news events for the pound on Wednesday to start off the trading day. Pardon me, sorry guys. And a whole bunch of Canadian dollar news and US dollar medium impact news events. And then we go into FOMC meeting minutes late in the day. So because this is a later news relief, we're probably going to see a bit of an extended session. And what I mean by that is the ranges will probably hit the high or the low a little bit later in the day just due to this news here. So watch for that. And then some more high-impact news events for the Aussie again. So I think the Australian dollar this week is going to be the one that's going to get shaken loose here a little bit. More GBP high-impact news events for Thursday, and ECB monetary policy meeting accounts for the euro for Thursday. And then Friday, we're going to finish off with a whole pile of euro and GBP high-impact, medium-impact news events. It's going to be very volatile for Friday's trading for those two pairs, so watch out for that. But let's get into the charts and let's discuss some market direction here for the week. So the bias for the week, I believe, with the US dollar, we're still going higher. I believe we're going to have them above these two relative equal highs up here at 99.30 before the end of the week, hopefully. That would be nice. So from last week, just to give you a quick update, so what I said last week was I wanted price to shoot up into the 98.75 level. We got that and have a bit of a retracement. Now, I was hoping price was going to retrace a lot deeper than what it did, at the very least to the top of this candle here, this red line here, and even more so down into the 98.15 level, which is why I had it highlighted here. It didn't want to have anything to do with that. It basically had one day, which was Tuesday, of a bit of a reversal, came back down and reloaded off of the high. I believe this was a Thursday candle from last week. Excuse me. 2 weeks ago, Thursday, and it touched off the very top of that, and it just never looked back from there. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, straight up, and away we went. So basically what we're doing here, I believe, more the same. We may see price pull back a little bit here, to start off the week, maybe to the 98.75 level. I'm just going to get rid of this blue line now because we have, these have all been achieved, all these levels in here, so we don't need that. This line here, this 98.95, I'm going to leave that on there. Next target, like I say, is the 99s. We're probably going to hit, we have hit 99. Top of the candle on the day. The high has been 99.03. Friday's high was 99.03.5. So we're above the 99s already. So I'm expecting this to continue. I think 99.30 is just going to be a speed bump. We're probably going to continue to accelerate even higher. Certainly a little bit of gap in price above here. And I think if we have any momentum whatsoever in the next week or two, not necessarily all this week, but I believe this area in price will get filled into, and I'll just bring up a price tag for that. Whoops, wrong one. I'm going to give it one more try, and if I can't do it, I'll just grab it. There we go. So about 99.80, we'll say, on the high side is sort of what I'm projecting for the ultimate outcome, the ultimate upside. So we're a little ways away from that, but there you can see a little bit better there. That's what I'm predicting for the week. For the end of the month there. So a nice little expansion higher. Now, I'm very curious to find out what we do when we get above these highs here. Do we shoot price up and then reject, which is what I would really like to happen. If they come in here and fill this in and then reject at the 99.80 level, that would be perfect, and have a big rejection, have price fall all the way back down and do a nice big correction. And if you look at that, if you take the fib low to the high, a nice deep correction back down to at least the 50% range of this whole movement up would be warranted for sure. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Once we achieve a couple of higher targets, we're almost there now. So if we see US dollar wanting to run higher, we should obviously see Euro USD continue to drop. And here's the same levels on the weekly, exactly what I've been talking about before. Filling this gap in at 107.80, and then if it really wants to expand down, getting back to the close of this candle here, which came in on the week of basically the middle of April 2017. So we haven't been down there for about 3 years now. So it's been a little while, and so I believe we're going to see that push down into there. Again, do we get that all in 1 week, or does it take a week or two to get there? We had a nice 2 weeks in here where it just dropped right off. Again, I'm not expecting another big solid down candle that looks exactly like that. I would assume we're probably going to run back up a little bit higher, and so that's why I've got a couple of levels marked out here. Again, more than likely we'll probably come back up and maybe retouch this level here. Put a price tag on that. 108.80 would be great if we could get a retest back up there. That's about 40 pips from current location. So if we could see that on Monday or Tuesday run back up and then drop, I'd be looking for price to run into then the 107.80 level. And if we could get that, that'd be a nice 100 range on the Euro USD, and hopefully get a little bit extension down into the 107, so where this blue line originates from. So that's what I'm looking at for on Euro. If we go much higher than the 108.80s, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant. I want to see when it gets back to this. This is a little consolidation area in here. I want to see if they have any strength to get above there if we start pushing through the 108.80s. I'm not too concerned about this level. I think they've had plenty of opportunities to retrace back above this level if they wanted to before they took this low out, and they chose to continue to drop it. So I think we know where the cards are being dealt and what the ultimate goals are, so we can play into that this week. So I'll be looking more downside Euro USD. And again, we've got a ton of news coming out on Friday on the Euro USD, so watch for that. We could even see that last little push in if it really wants to get moving down into that range down there. And that from current location would be about 120 pips or so. If we get a little bit of a retracing back up, it could be about 160, which would be a nice weekly range. Pound dollar. We've back into the consolidation. So price consolidated here, expanded up, came back down, expanded up, came back down, consolidated. Tried to break out here, got smacked back down right into the 50% range of this consolidation, and then we rejected. So where do we go from here? Well, if you look on here, there's a bit of a daily gap that's happened. I'll bring it up here. You can see that. This was from 2 weeks ago. So you can see 2 weeks ago, the end of January, start of February, we gapped down, really sold off quickly, and then now we've done a great job of running back up. We have a couple equal highs right above here, and I believe before, well, I would hope that this week here is going to finish off and run that daily gap out. Now, whether we run above these two highs here once we get above this daily gap, we'll have to wait and see. As far as this moving down lower, I don't know if we will, or if we're going to expand back up, to be honest with you. We'll have to see once that daily gap gets filled off. The Euro USD is really dropping, so definitely the weaker of the pair. The pound moving up very strong against the progression of the US dollar, where both the euro and the pound dollar should be dropping. When the dollar is rising, we're only getting one out of the two dropping. So just keep that in mind. We're a little bit uncorrelated right now. So things definitely aren't exactly as they should be. Things aren't exactly happening as they should be. I'll just get you to watch this candle right here. We dropped in this candle here, right back down, almost touching off this high here. So We could still see price drop back down one more time to clear that run this low here. I'm not going to rule that out, but I'm definitely looking for higher prices on the pound dollar. I think they're going to fill this big range in right here, and that, my friends, could be a potential of about 150 pip range on the week, which would be absolutely wonderful. And if we get a little bit more momentum to the upside, I'd like to see them run these two lows here. Excuse me, these two highs here and here as well too. So we'll watch for that. And we've already had price open up for the week, as the time of this recording is Sunday evening. And you can see that right there. I'll zoom in a little bit. Price has already opened up on the week so far. So I'll be watching to see if we have any movement downwards. I'd probably be expecting price to hold off back at the consolidation level. Not looking to go any lower. If we do go lower, then we'll have to reshift our focus and possibly look at some different targets below. But as long as we don't lose, as long as price doesn't come below this area in here, I'm fairly confident that we're going to see higher prices on the pound dollar. Okay, and with the target being that daily gap right there. Okay, one of the reasons to back that up, again, we've had a big slide on Euro GBP. This pair here, if this is sinking quickly, then either the EurUsd is dropping, which is happening, or the pound is consolidating, or the pound is rising and the euro is consolidating. So we're actually in a market environment where both is happening at once. The euro is dropping and the pound is rising. So, well, the pound is more so, it is rising, but definitely, you know, we are definitely consolidating, so to speak, whereas you can see the difference in the pound on the weekly, excuse me, on the daily, a big sell-off. So that is the difference. So technically, with this drop in Euro GBP, EurUsd is dropping while they're consolidating GbpUsd technically, but we are still getting some nice daily ranges on GbpUsd. So and I'm expecting them to at least run out this low here. I would expect that if they were to punch down below this low here, again, that should take the pound dollar right up into that daily gap up there, and the EurUsd right into this little imbalance in price right down in here. Okay, UsCad real quickly is completely uncoupled from the US dollar, doing what it wants to do, not respecting what the dollar is doing at all. So unfortunate, and we just, and I'll grab this here if I can, squeaked above that high right there. You can see that little weak candle there from last week. Zoom in there, you can see took the old high out, and price has been quickly accelerating to the downside. Now, I don't know what the UsCad is going to do. I would assume we're probably going to shoot down and try to rebalance this old consolidation level at 31.90 right back in here. I'm assuming that's the target. Or we could just be looking to take out the lows right here. See these equal lows, 1, 2, 3 lows there. We could look to just maybe sweep it down there and then reject and continue higher if we see a progression higher in the US dollar. I'm not so much on board with that theory, only because of this massive sell-off in here. It shouldn't have gone that deep with the US dollar going that high. So something else is going on. They want to reprice this thing lower. I would be looking either at 131.90, or if they do reverse in this area right about 132.30. And that's basically just this high of this candle right here. It's about as detailed as I'm going to get. Maybe a little bit lower, maybe 132.25. I'll just maybe even that out. But just be careful if you guys are... Whoops, that's not what I wanted. If you guys are selling into this drop on UsCad, just pay attention to that 132.25. There is the potential for price to reverse at that level. I'm not saying it's definitely going to, but there is that possibility. So just watch that. You know, it would be just perfect for them to shoot it down here real quickly, stop, run, reject, and then continue higher to get in line with this push higher in the US dollar. So it's certainly an option. You know, again, I'm not going to discount it. If you take from the last projected downtrend, we're coming into that 61 to 72% retracement level, 79% retracement level. So there is the possibility that they will stretch down, but I definitely am looking at some kind of a reversal in this area. And eventually it would have to snap back in line with what the US dollar is doing. Okay, so that's about all I'm going to say on that. Leave that for now. US yen is doing whatever it wants to do here. I don't see anything on this for now, so I'm going to skip over that. Australian dollar, we have lots of news on Australian dollar this week. So we have news events on Monday evening, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, and Thursday, no news, Friday, no news. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So what I'm hoping is we're going to see this pair snap loose here eventually, because we have been consolidating for the past 2 weeks. You can see that there, very small consolidation range, but I'm hoping we're going to see it run out, because we just took out these lows there just briefly. You see that right there with that low, and I guess we could probably get rid of that level. Don't need that now. Lots of areas up in here, but as the US dollar is continuing to run higher, I don't think it's going to bode too well for bulls on Aussie dollar. Now, once US dollar takes out these two equal highs here, well, that's where I was talking about possibly, potentially, maybe, probably seeing a reversal on US dollar once it fills this higher level up in here. And I'm going to borrow this because I don't have it on the daily there, but 99.80 on the high side. So if that gets fulfilled, what does Australian dollar do from here? If US dollar starts dropping quickly once it fulfills that 99.80 level, it could springboard Australian dollar higher. Now, I'm not going to be a buyer of Australian dollar yet. I want to see what the US dollar does. I think we're probably a little premature, and the Australian dollar, we could continue to take out these lows. I'll just, bring your attention to the monthly. We've got this old low way back down here, and we've got a couple of other, levels in here in the meantime. Now, look at what this thing is doing. It's slammed down in here and hammered back up, consolidated, slammed down, consolidated, big move down, and a real tight consolidation range since about 2014. Folks, it's about time Australian dollar shakes loose. I'm not going to suggest that it's going to happen this week by any stretch of the imagination, but what I am saying though is if the US dollar continues to run higher, it should by default naturally push the Aussie down, and if it really wants to start going, Aussie has a free fall from current location at 67.20 down to 62.90 possibly. Call it 63 on the downside. So that is about 400 pips. Is it going to do it all in one straight shot? Absolutely not. Could it take a couple of weeks? Absolutely. If we start really breaking down though, we're going to lose this low here, and it's not going to come back anytime soon. So that's what we're waiting for and watching. If US dollar starts dropping, I'm going to be buying Aussie. If US dollar continues to rise, then I'm going to start selling short in this once we clear this low here. Okay? So that's all I've got on Australian dollars and Forex for the week. I hope that helps out you guys. Crude oil, very quickly. I don't believe the bottom is in on crude oil yet. I think we still have one more punch down. They hammered price in here, crushed those lows. As I told you guys it would happen, it happened. Took 2 weeks down here, once down, second week straight back up. And now we're kind of just sort of sitting here. Now you notice this weekly high here and this weekly high here and the open of this current week that we're on, it's all hovering right around that 52.30 area. Haven't broke that yet, which is very interesting. So I want to see what happens this week here. As you can see, we're just sort of consolidating, which is natural after a big, long, deep run like that. Price has got to consolidate, build up positions again for either another drop lower or one more, or a reversal and a punch higher. Now, if we start getting above this area right here, and I'll give you the exact level I'm looking at, about 53.50. You know what, we'll call it 53.40. If price starts trading about $1.50 higher than our current location on oil, then I'm going to be very bullish, and we're going to start buying this thing up. But I want to see what happens right here. We could stab down one more time to clean these levels up, but we did on Thursday come right back down and just about rebalance right off of this one down candle right here, which is kind of what I'm looking forward to do. I would honestly love it to do this here, come right down into here, and then shoot higher. That would be great. but we got to pay attention because there are lots of levels below where they could want to sink price one more time to really clean up these levels here for everybody building long positions back on oil. Kind of sort of what they did here, where they, you know, right in here where they came down, ran it up, came back, and then dropped price and sunk it below these lows and then started taking off from there. They could want to do that here, so just bear that in mind before you get too bullish on crude oil. We could see them wanting to drop back a little bit lower, so I'm going to watch for that, but I will certainly let my members of F45trading.com know well before it happens, as always. So I hope you guys think about joining our small little group here. We do some great market analysis regularly, almost every day of the week when the markets are moving, and there's a lot of great value to be had. So check us out at F45trading.com. And for all you, for everyone else, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. Had a great weekend, and have a great week ahead of trading. Let's crush these markets, guys. The markets are starting to really heat up for the year. It's getting exciting, so let's knock it out of the park. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you on the next one.